Solving compound inequalities. So we're going to look at solving a compound inequality. But first, what is a compound inequality? So a compound inequality inequality is an inequality that contains two inequality symbols. So our question we're going to solve -2 is less than or equal to 5x minus 17 less than or equal to 3. So we're going to solve a compound inequality just like we would a regular inequality, but we have three parts to a compound inequality. We have the middle part, we have the left side, we have the right side. So to solve a compound inequality, you must isolate the middle term, or we say the middle part, meaning we want to get the variable by itself. You solve a compound inequality just like you would solve an equation, but you start from the middle part. Okay, so our x is in the middle, in between the two inequalities. Our goal is to get x by itself, and to do so, we want to move the minus 17. Well, to move the minus 17, we have to take the opposite. So we're going to add 17 in the middle. We're going to have to add 17 on the left side, as well as the right side. So in the middle, the 17s cancel out. And we have on the left side -2 plus 17, which gives us 15, less than or equal to 5x, less than or equal to, now let's add the right side, 3 plus 17, that gives us 20. So we're getting closer to solving for x. Now we want to work with the 5. And to move the 5, we're going to divide, because the inverse of times, because this is 5 times x, is to divide. So we're going to divide 5 to all parts. So on the left side, 15 divided by 5 is 3. We have less than or equal to. In the middle, we have x, because the 5's cancel out. On the right hand side, 20 divided by 5 is 4. So we are finished. X is by itself. That's what we want. And then I know the question says solve, but we're going to graph it, and then we're going to also write our answer as an interval notation. So what this is saying, what are all the possible numbers that are between 3 and 4, including 3 and 4? So on the number line, we want to represent this. And remember from the last video when we talked about how to write the notations for the symbols, whenever we have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, we're going to use a bracket. open and or close bracket. So find 3 on the number line, find 4. So some numbers that's between 3 and 4 would be 3.5, 3.25, 3.75. Those are some possible numbers. So add 3 and add 4, because this inequality, we can't put any numbers that's to the n for x. When I say put in, substitute any numbers that's less than 3, because let's say we choose 2. The number 2 is not between 3 and 4. Let's say that you choose 5, positive 5. We can't substitute 5 in for x. That's not between 3 and 4. So we want to represent this inequality by graphing this on the number line. So we're going to shade everything in between 3 and 4. Those are the possible solutions. Now, when you write your interval notation, remember the smallest number is on the left and the largest number is on the right. So we write it as open bracket 3, comma 4, close bracket. That is our interval notation.